So, as you guys know, I've got a new Panther platform car. 85-year-old man, basically fresh motor, all brand new suspension underneath. I'm going to go through this thing and I'm going to show you guys how I do a basic pan drop, trans pan drop, and fluid filter change, and we're going to go from there. And then we'll flush the coolant as well, but I'm not going to show you the coolant. That's self-explanatory. In the trunk, flip the switch off so the airbags don't try to activate while it's in the air. Now get it up in the air, we'll pull the pan. So here we're under the car and it's really snowy and wet out, so we're going to do a series of 10mm bolts all the way around to drop this pan. The gasket is reusable if proper cleaning procedures used, or you can replace it. I'm going to try to reuse it because it is a metal gasket that's reusable, surrounded by, I think, rubber. This is a 5-quart drop, so whatever you drop in here needs to be replaced. A lot of people try to measure it, but I'm not going to do that. It's supposed to be ballpark a 5-quart drop with the filter, and this is per the dealership. Make sure you're not getting some phony. This is the new packaging. Even if you order it on Amazon, you'll see like the old style packaging that had like brown up top and it had like some goofy lines and stuff. They don't use that packaging anymore. All the new updated stuff that's not been sitting on the shelf for a long time looks just like this, the new style packaging. And if you want to look for a genuine Ford part, on the bottom of the Ford bags, you'll see there's stamped holes in here. The aftermarket, like Chinese stuff and everything else that's not authentic to Ford, doesn't have these stamped holes in the bottom of the bag. So, here's the part number. 76AZ, 7A098A. And I went ahead and got 6 quarts of Mercon 5 just in case. I don't want to use that LV stuff because this is the stuff that the vehicle was made with. This is what I want to put back in there. So let's drop the pan in the fluid.
Recording right now. Don't move close. So I'm going to start taking these bolts, see if they come out. I don't know if they're going to. 10 mil. Just stay back, as long as they can see. Stronger, but you get the adjustment. Go all the way around, take the 10mm bolts out, and then drop the pan, and the fluid's going to come out all at one time. Stop. Hey, freak. Come on. We got a box. Oh my goodness. I'm going to leave one of them in. See this one? This one I'm going to have to retap because all the junk and debris really messed up that last thread. And there's 2 on the back of the pan over here. On the very back over here, where I'm going to use my ratcheting wrench, or I'm going to have to use like a little swivel socket to get up in there. And then that's how I will approach that. They're kind of rusty, so it's good that we're taking them out anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and finish dropping the pan, and I'll show you guys what it looks like with the fluid coming out. Okay.
Just so you know what I use is I use the 10mm swivel universal, and I kind of went up over this like so. and that's how I got it on there, to get those, and those just buzz right off and buzz loose. They're just finger tight right now, so that's how I'm going to be getting it off. See, the fluid looks really clean that's coming out of there, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay guys, so I pulled the magnet. You can come close if you want to so they can see it. I pulled the magnet out of the bottom of the pan. It sits right here in this little raised hump. Pull it out, clean off any of the metal debris and stuff that's on it, obviously. Clean off all the bottom of the pan. You can brake clean it if you want. I'm not going to use brake clean in this pan. I'm going to just use a bunch of clean rags and wipe everything out as much as I can, and then I'm going to take my wire wheel and I'm just going to real nicely clean off all this rust and stuff that's accumulated on the outside edge. And basically that's the prep for the pan cleaning. And then when we go to install the filter and stuff on it, I'll show you exactly how I do that. So that'll be next.
Okay.
So I'm just basically going to brush around this with my... I'm not going to get real crazy with it. That's it. I'll wipe it out one more time, and then these are reusable gaskets. Again, you reuse your trans gasket. If you don't trust it, then just go ahead and get another one, but they are reusable. So now we will install the filter. So when I dropped the pan down, when I dropped this pan out of there, the filter was in the bottom of it, and this yellow plug was in the bottom of it. This yellow plug goes right inside the dipstick tube. So whenever they from the factory shove that dipstick tube in there, this pops out and falls into the bottom of the pan. It doesn't hurt anything, but this is from the factory, and this is during an assembly process that when that tube gets shoved in there, this pops out into the pan and it just kind of sits down there until somebody changes the filter and stuff again. They're also in reman transmissions as well. So that tells me this transmission is probably a newer reman transmission, and when they swapped the tube over, they ended up popping this out on the new trans that was put in there, which I'm lucky then. You'll also see in here there's a little gasket. You want to pop that out of there without scoring the side of that metal. Just real nicely take a pick and pick that out of there. Sometimes it could be a booger, but that you need to do that because whenever you put your new filter in there, that gets shoved in its spot, and you don't want to double gasket it. Okay, there's the new filter in there. It literally just popped right into the hole, and now I'm going to go ahead and install my pan, and about 10 to 12 foot-pounds, just kind of nice and snug all the way around evenly, jump from side to side, bam, 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 just kind of cross pattern it when you're tightening everything up, and I'll show you what it looks like with it all installed. Okay guys, this is about what it looks like. This is my car, so I'm not going to go around torquing these down. I would a customer's car, but this is my car, and this is how I feel. This is just how I do it. They only need about 10 foot-pounds, and that's plenty. Just tighten them up. That's the one that was cross-threaded earlier. It had a bunch of debris in it. That one as well. That's the one that had like a lot of rust and junk. You guys get the idea. That's about how it goes all the way around. So I just went ahead and threw a couple coats of real quick paint on it while it's down here. Some just satin finish, just something to cover up. I went over it with the wire wheel just to brush off any of the extra rust, anything that could cause like trap moisture and things like that, and just went ahead and threw a quick coat of paint on it real quick. So I pulled the dipstick out back here, and now I'm gonna stick this. I got a long funnel that I use, and I kind of melted the end of it to put a little curve in it, just a little bit. And I stick that funnel down in there, and then I'm gonna start with 4 of these. I'm gonna dump 4. I'm gonna dump 4 first, start it, and then I'll show you how I run it through the gears, and then I'm gonna come back out and check it again. So I've got 4 quarts in it, and I noticed that on the stick it was kind of like really rusty in here, and I took it to the wire wheel and I just polished it up real good so I can read. Don't add if in crosshair area, check when hot, idling in park. So I put 4 quarts in to start it off. I know I'm going to probably need 5 to 6. I'm going to stick this back in there just to verify the level that's on it. So I'm really high right now, just for the simple fact that I need to actually run it and get it through the trans and then recheck it. So that's what I'm going to do next. It's about a 5-quart service overall, so that's why I put 4 in. And now I'll run and check it, wait till it gets hot, go through that route. I'll show you how I run it through the gears. Okay, so we're in the car now, and we will start it up, let it warm up. Let it warm up, but I'll show you. The red light's on because I got the door open and the air suspension is shut off right now. So what I'll do now is show you, push the brake, shift it in reverse, let it sit a second, shift it neutral, let it sit a second, drive, 2, 1, back to 2, back to drive, neutral, reverse. And I might go through and do that a couple times just to make sure all the solenoids are opening up, the valves are actuating, the balls are floating back and forth, the line pressures are changing, you know, things of this nature, whatever it may be. This is just a procedure you go through to make sure that you're getting fluid everywhere that it has to be. Park. And then now I'm going to let this thing warm up and come back and check the fluid level while it's sitting here idling. Okay, the camera's not on.
It's going.
The lights are not on. Okay, the vehicle's warmed up. I've got 4 quarts in it. It's about a 5-quart service. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the dipstick and check it. Yeah, I'm about 1 quart low exactly. The hash mark is right there, and it's about 1 quart underneath it. So it pretty much is right at the 5-quart service. So I'm going to add the other quart to it, and I'm going to be right in the hash mark, and then that'll be it. About a quart, quart and a quarter, and we'll be right where we need to be. And that's it, guys. So I've